It's time to go back underground and visit another one of General Kammlers' project tunnels. It's located some 60 kilometers from Arnstadt and the SIII in Jonastal. Kammler ordered a new tunnel system constructed under the Geilberg program for the underground synthetic oil production. Himmler, with his degree in agricultural management, had very early on investigated synthetic fuel production, so the technology was established and many of the plants were already running. But now, in the light of the Allies' increased air supremacy and the systematic bombing of German industry, these, along with many other industries, had to move underground. Many went into established tunnels, caves or bunkers. However, at Berga, a new tunnel system had to be created. In August 1944, as part of the Geilberg program, the armaments minister established the Petroleum Securing Plan, whose implementation belonged to the Kammlerstab. Belonging to this plan under the code name Schwalbe, the Kammlerstab supervised the construction of an underground hydrogenation plant for Braunkohle und Benzin AG in site in Berga an der Elster, and appointed as project manager Obersturmbannführer Willi Hack. Hack was transferred to Berga on November 6, 1944, where his site manager and geologists tested the mountain rock for interval water channels. After Sonderinspektion 1 reviewed drilling samples in Berlin, Brabach made concrete plans for the mining operation. One interesting note about this place is that when the prisoners had been evacuated and the German guards and the SS left, they demolished one tunnel only and left the remaining unfinished tunnels intact. This, of course, left speculation as to why this one tunnel had to be destroyed and what might have been in it.
I could imagine the labor camp was in the flat area here. To the left is the river, but as of yet I'm not sure of the tunnel systems further back into the mountain. So we found the first sign that something was here. As always, in the mountains. Alright. And here in this beautiful little town is the first tunnel entrance to Schwalbe V. This is the one. Of course, it's been closed up to some degree so the bats can get in and out. This was one of the synthetic fuel plants that came under Kammler, and I believe it was under the Geilberg program of synthetic fuel production. The workers from Großhosen showed up here and started building the camp for the laborers, and soon after they showed up and started building the fuel plant. This was already in 1944, so whether they actually achieved any production is a little uncertain. But let's see if I can get in there, see what it looks like. So besides the bat proofing, somebody, probably someone minded as myself, has made a hole in. I guess keeping my promises, visiting all of Kammler's sites. In 1944, late 1944, Kammler set in motion that here was to be a synthetic fuel plant. Fuel was a paramount shortage in Germany at the time, even despite the fact they had thousands of ready planes and jet fighters now on the way. They did not have enough fuel. So producing jet fuel, or fuel in general, in secure locations like this relocation, and I promised you I would visit all of them. Here's one of them, and I even think we can get in. This is the things I do. Okay. So in there. Well, of course, this is blockage, you know, for people like me. Let's see what we got in here. Pull it back in. It's a nice, comfortable feeling knowing that I have a friend on the outside. Holy shit. This looks, wow. Not sure this is gonna happen. Wow. I guess they blew this. This is not part of the original construction. All that thing I'm walking on is just part of the rock that blew down. Getting in is not a problem. Getting out, however, gonna put the camera down, take a look. But there, as you can see, there's not much left. Well, I looked around a little bit, and I gotta tell you, I can probably slide down this rock, but I'm not entirely sure I can get back up without a rope. So, I'm gonna try the other entrance. And obviously, you can get in, and there's something in there. But see how the other entrance look, and depending on that, I'll take my chance on the rock here, maybe. Alright. See you on the outside.
Braun and Company Schliefverwaltung was the cover name for Brabant's sites. They functioned as the owner and Reich trustees. The company employed mining companies, major mining and civilian engineering firms, and additional workers from all over the region and Germany. Brabant planned to excavate 18 interconnected tunnels in the SIII Berg mountain. On November 13, 1944, the first 70 male prisoners were brought to Berga from Buchenwald. Among them was the future administrative staff and prisoner physician. This group built the camp. The first large transport of 500 prisoners then arrived on December 1st. In all, over 3,300 prisoners were dispatched to Berga. The largest prisoner group were the Jews from the occupied territories in Germany. Others were political prisoners or those labeled as work-shy or career criminals from all over Europe. However, an anomaly on February 13, 1945, 350 American GIs, prisoners of war, came from Stalag Bad Orb. They were brought here to Berga. That was not the norm when captured. These men had all been captured during the early part of the Battle of the Bulge. From there, they were placed on trains and strafed by fellow American planes on their way to Germany. Upon arrival at their Stalag, where they were originally to be housed, a strange order had come down that at least 350 American Jews were to be separated from their other GIs and transported to Berga. Who issued the order is not entirely certain, but Germany needed labor at the time. Despite the objections of their fellow GIs, they now had to go to work. However, there were only 80 of them, and the rest were then selected at random based on their looks or if they were signs of trouble. They were all sent on trucks. At first they were housed in the former Arbeitsdienst, then they too were ordered to the camp and to work in shifts, doing miners' work in the shafts 3 to 17. There were 6 prisoners per shift per shaft. Their foremen were all Germans, and again 4 per shaft, 2 per shift. During their work hours, they had no contacts with the other prisoners from Buchenwald concentration camp. They worked in different shifts. Most prisoners worked in tunnels where they cleared the debris from explosions. The work was very hard and dangerous. They also had to work for various firms employed in the camp. The prisoners preferred assignments in the quarry, kitchens, or the workshops. laying rail beds or doing outdoor construction rather than working in the tunnels. A large group of 13 to 17-year-old boys at Berga mostly peeled potatoes in the kitchens. Between November 28, 1944 and April 7, 1945, 330 prisoners died in the camp. Berlin ordered the construction staff to evacuate Schwalbe and close to or around April 11, 1945. On the morning of Berga's closure, the SS ordered prisoners to form up in rows of 5 abreast and carry their blankets and bowls. Approximately 200 men unable to march were taken by train to Dachau. From Dachau, some of these went to Austria. The remaining GIs were liberated on April 20th as their column was finally caught up to by American tank units. On April 16, 1945, the town itself was handed over to American units without a battle, due to the intervention of Mr. von Cement of Markendorf. The 89th U.S. Infantry Division occupied Berga. It is alleged that during the time of the American occupation, Shaft 18, which served as depository for explosive materials, was blown up then, on May 1, 1945. 1 month later, on June 1, 1945, 26 graves were opened in the Berga cemetery. 22 of the 26 exhumed bodies were identified as being American, who had been in the Berga as prisoners of war. Their remains were transferred home. During a meeting of creditors on April 20, 1946, the total cost of the endeavor at Schwalbe was announced to about 110 million Reichsmarks. Thereafter, the area came under DDR control. And an interesting note is that the fuel plant intended to be installed in Berga, all which parts were found ready to install on the work site, sitting in crates, was then resumed under the Soviet auspices after the return of the production facility from Berga to Trogelitz by the firm of Braun and Company. Charged with causing the deaths of hundreds of Buchenwald and Berga prisoners because of his demanding work methods and the deaths caused by the forced march from the camp, on April 23, 1951, Hack was sentenced to death.
So there's one. There's the next one, demolished but with grates. I think there's more here. Gonna see which one looks the most promising to get into. Mr. Jones could probably do this, but I, with my giant swollen head, cannot. So we'll see what's in the next one. Actually, everything get blown up, making it all so much less stable and safe. And the next one looks even more destroyed. Here you can see what looks like a cement foundation, something on the ground. Wow, this is well destroyed. This is a rock. This really collapsed well into itself. Something up there that looks like a hole. Took the whole top of the mountain up there with it to cover this up. This was well exploded. I guess we could congratulate the engineers on this. And see, there's another. Yeah. So we had the 3 entrances down there. They're blocked except the one. This is closer to what level they all were. Here they didn't blow it up. Of course they put in a door, but so this one doesn't seem to have been tampered with at all. I could have gotten to the window if I had a ladder. I would imagine there's a padlock here. I imagine so. I would be shocked if this was. Are you all holding your breath? Son of a motherless donkey. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! This must be because it's my birthday. Into the darkness. And here we are. Inside another one of General Kammlers tunnel systems. This one for synthetic fuel production. And from the looks of this tunnel, I don't think they got started with anything here. But I think there's more from what I've seen, and tracks were laid in some. I also hear rumors of cement. But considering they started building this in very late, almost November 44, and the prisoners were not evacuated until April. They were evacuated all the way out to Theresienstadt, of all places, in Czechoslovakia. And 200 prisoners who were too weak or sick to walk were actually put on trains and sent there. They were somehow the lucky ones, because quite a few ended up dying later on the march. And here are the tracks, the bent railway tracks. So they had the mini rails for excavation here. There's a drill sitting right there. Wow. So already in here, some 50 meters in, they started excavating it. To the sides. So they started reaching out to the sides, because down here's the other tunnel. So they drilled in 50, maybe 100 meters, and then started building to the sides. Here are the tracks. Don't know why I always think seeing railroad tracks is kind of cool, but even mini rails. And here is one of the cross beams that the rails would lay on, the metal cross beams. And here here's a full track. Here's a full track right here. And here's the whole section of a track and a plate. Wow. I am so glad nobody has taken this, removed it, or destroyed it. Let's see here. That's a whole track plate. Stuck in under the rubble, which tells me that maybe there was some detonation or collapse here, since nobody has pulled out the tracks. This could be a collapse that has come down where I'm standing, and that's why, unless there's some sign of going down this way. No. Well, this mound could be. Nice to have somebody waiting for you at the door. This is cool. Now let's see if there's more. They had enough time to build more of these. So one single track in the middle is what it looks like. See all the holes in the walls. I think they blasted their way through this. This does not look as forgiving as sandstone would. Damn, it's cool that this is here and this is open. Wish they put a plaque on the door. But they left it open, so I won't complain. any more than I usually complain. So here's the open one down there. And this could either be one that's collapsed or had just been begun and not finished. One that's partially detonated. It's not destroyed the same way as the other ones are, so it may just have been a tunnel they had begun. I'll see what's down the road. Find the little remnants in the fourth floor. Now, I know this was a stand for something, and I know one of you guys out there looking is going to write and tell me what that was. It was a compressor, generator. Here's another entrance. I think this is the last one. I think I can see a little air up there. I'm going to climb up and take a look. But this was clearly a stand. Surprised it's still here, to be quite honest. Get me wrong, I'm glad that it is, but here we are. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna drag you with me because I want you to get a sense of the destruction of these places and the mosquitoes guarding it. You know, the last revenge was not gas, fire, it was mosquitoes. Holy son of a donkey. Alright, here's the plate here. Yes, here's another one. Ooh, I can get in. Well, if I kill myself on the way. Oh, son of a bitch. Awesome. Yeah, I can get in there. Somehow. Somehow I can get in there. Alright. Alright. First thing I see is an air pipe for the compressed air for the drills. And a lot of leaves. What do we got here? Well, I'm already in here. So getting out we'll do a little later. I blew it with a compressed air pipe stuck in here. Oh, okay. Well, I see the railroad tracks there. Lots of rubble to climb down. Is this all there is? Is this it? I don't know. Alright. See if we can make it down this without falling the whole way. Now, you will understand, much as a history puritanical fanatic, believer in the full honest disclosure of history that I am also not very smart. And what I'm doing, I'm telling you guys, don't do it. Don't do it alone. Don't do it if you don't know what you're doing. Because you all have parents who loves you. Or wives or children. And walking on rubble in a demolished World War II tunnel is not necessarily something you should do. But I'm pretty sure I can get out. Pretty sure I can get in. And you know what? Seriously, what historical explorer was ever killed on his birthday? No, seriously, I mean, someone must have done. Alright, take this very easy, and I'm on the floor. I'm standing. Thing. But unless there's something I'm really missing, they did not get to production here. They did other places, but this is not one of them. But here you see the same. They were planning on a lateral tunnel here. Sorry, apparently it's chilly in here. I don't see remnants of, well, anything. Yeah, they were working on going that way, further in, and then digging parallel. So they were digging in here to meet the tunnels, connect them all, but they never got that far. Although this loose rubble here, some indication that maybe, just maybe, something was somewhat demolished after the fact. And here, part of one of the rails, I think. A lot of wood debris. Try not to breathe in front of the camera. Alright guys. Of course it is entirely possible that some of the other tunnels that were collapsed have been more completed, but I doubt it. It seems that the Third Reich began to grow really good ideas too late, short of being able to in any way affect the outcome of the war. And that's why the world looks the way it does today. One more off the list. I guess it's a little, it's interesting to think how excited I get for getting into these places, considering how the people that were made to dig them out must have felt about it. That's history for you. All right, I'm going to turn the camera off and navigate my way up the pile. Okay, you know what? Navigating out of these holes is why I need a new fleece or clothing that's actually appropriate for this. All right, with no grace whatsoever. See you on the flip side.
It is still not known who gave the order to transfer the US GIs in with the regular concentration camp prisoners to Berga to work, but it certainly was a sign of a desperate situation in Germany and labor shortages. It was a terrible experience, and those who survived had scars, therefore, for the rest of their lives. Another interesting note is the synthetic fuel plants that Germany used and designed were operated by French, American, and Russians after the war for a while. And now I'm going back to Jonastal to look at some more underground bunkers and some of the strange stories of nuclear reactors hiding in mountains.
Behind me is Vanna von Braun's first test stand. Down the road is Diebner's nuclear reactor. Over there is the Maginot Line and all its amazing forts. I'm visiting them all and I'm bringing them to you. So I really appreciate you like, follow, and share what I'm doing, trying to document all these important historical locations. And if you feel like you want to watch more pictures or documents that I use for these, go to lostbattlefields.com. And if you feel like helping me out with my travels, because gasoline and travel and airfare is expensive, my PayPal is there, protectionserviceint.com. You are more than welcome, but you don't have to. I appreciate all your support and all your help, and I love seeing these locations, and I love bringing them to you.